Here we go.
All right.
And welcome, Coach Nicki. How you doing over there? Are you training this morning or are you finding your windows?
Today I am finding the windows, which is actually the story of my life, right? When you try to fit in all this stuff. But I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Working a lot, coaching some, and trying to train for an Ironman.
Which one are you doing again?
I am doing the unofficial team race of Lake Placid.
Oh yeah, that's very unofficial.
It is very unofficial, but I think there's 6 or 7 of us doing it up there.
Yeah, that sounds like a Snell creation or something.
It was because it was supposed to be the last year for it.
Yeah.
And I said, there's no way I would ever do Lake Placid. Are you insane? And it's supposed to be the last year, and here we are. They just renewed it for another 3 years.
Oh, it's good. So I can still do it. I didn't like the pressure of that. And then, Snell, he always makes every race he does like an unofficial team race.
He does, but that's why everybody loves him, because he is a good individual to be around race week. He's just a good individual all around, but definitely during race week.
He's a calming force.
He is in a weird analytical way. He's
a weird analytical way. That's probably why he makes me nervous. All right, so how's coaching going for you? What do you love about it?
Oh, what do I love? So I had my first 2 athletes did Ironman Texas. And it was my very first experience of being on the other side of it and watching and tracking them and feeling all those emotions of wanting them to succeed and knowing that they're able to succeed, but knowing that I have no control whatsoever what the day's going to bring them. And just praying then that all the conversations that we had, that they remember those things that we talked about and that they were strong enough to do it. It's a very different aspect of the sport. I've done, a little bit of coaching in the past, but it's never been with, it's because what I do with my regular job, but this is all in, right? And it's exciting. It's nerve-wracking. You're a bit of a therapist. I have found that. You're a jack of all trades, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Like I love the sport. So I'm hoping that we get even busier and that more people seek us out, because I think we've got a great lineup of people that can help all kinds of athletes out there.
Yeah, that is something to go through that experience when you're kind of helpless and hoping. And
it was nerve-wracking.
Text or get a hold of somebody that can talk to them just to see how they're doing and stuff like that.
So I did that. That's how bad I was. I had 2 people on the ground. I had actually planned on surprising my athletes. I was going to fly down there to Texas. And then life got in the way, and I couldn't be away from home. I had to care for my husband. And so I found 2 people that were going to be there, and I made sure that they were my voice to the athletes as much as possible. I was really looking forward to that because, the whole team was down there as well. So yeah, it would have been a great day. And it was a great day. Both the athletes finished, both of them finished. So they were awesome.
That's great. What were you telling? I could have been your person on the ground. What were you telling them? Run faster? Tell them to run faster.
Yeah, right.
That sounds good.
Be patient on the bike. That bike course is probably one of the hardest. Even though it's straight out and back pretty much, the Hardy it is hardcore. The wind is just insane. And until you've done that race, I don't think you can explain it to anybody. The run is the best run in Ironman, in my opinion. So the gals that I had, both of them very high achieving athletes. So what I really needed for them to do that day was to stay within themselves. Don't look around and see how other people are doing. No self-comparison. just all within yourself, because both of them had a little bit of self-doubt. So that was my main goal in giving them a program, and making sure that their program supported that, making sure they were successful. Each day when they did a workout, as hard as Ironman training is, it's good to find at least one success in there every day.
Right. Yeah. So you kind of mentioned what you do normally, and how does that? Obviously, you're a very good listener and compassionate with athletes. And how do you think that all that sort of dovetails into coaching triathlon?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. If you want to be a good coach, you have to be about people. I mean, coaching is a people business. What I do for a living, I work in human resources, so it's a human business, right? We always say people are not gray, or people aren't black and white. They're actually very gray, and they're different every single day. And so that means that I have to adjust to that. And it's hard. It's hard sometimes. In coaching, I think the one thing that I've found the hardest is trying to get an athlete to believe in themselves, and they just don't. You can do this hard workout if you do this, and this. So it's so much easier to say it than to do it. And now I understand. I understand my relationship with my coach a little bit better. How you can go crazy coaching. People have really high expectations, and you want to be successful.
Right.
But I
Yes.
think listening is the key. Listening is key.
Yeah. So in general, how would you describe, I'm sure it's always a work in progress and fluid, but how would you kind of describe your general coaching philosophy? Is it based on yourself as an athlete and how you go about your things, or do you kind of step back and take a different approach?
Great question. No, I step back and I take the approach that I think is best for that individual person as I get to know them. I think most triathletes have a certain kind of personality, which is a lot like my personality. However, everyone's definition of success is different. So I think what I try to do is find or ask or to discover with my athletes, what is your definition of success? What does that look like for you? And what can I do to make you see that success every day? Again, so they stay motivated to train. And that's hard to do. You've got, it's a lot of sitting back and taking in a bunch of different angles. Maybe they're their worst enemy, or maybe they're very, very knowledgeable and they want to try everything, a lot like some of the pros do. The comparison factor, there's all these things that come into the story of it. But I always try to treat people as individuals, because that's what they are. Everyone's very different, motivated by different things.
Very true. So,
and it depends on where they're at in their journey too. When I first started, it was about being on the podium. It was about being as fast as I could possibly be. As I get older, now it's about having gratitude to have the body that still wants to race and the mind that wants to race, and then trying to take care of that body as I age. I mean, it completely changes the focus the longer you do it.
Interesting. So along that lines, you've been a C26 athlete for quite a while, and what is one of the biggest lessons you've learned being trained by the C26 sort of philosophy, I guess?
Well, let me start by saying, and everybody that knows me knows I'm going to say this, C26 changed my life. C26, family. there are people that I've never met on this team that I'm closer to than people that I interact with daily. The community is a significant part of my life, and it's changed my opinion on myself. There's been a lot of soul searching. This team's really helped me do that. But the one thing that I will tell you that C26 gave me that nobody else has given me was the ability to be proud of myself. I've not ever said that in my whole entire life, that I was ever proud of myself or proud of anything that I've ever done until C26. And this community, that's what they support. They want you to be just as proud of yourself as they are of you. And that's life-changing. That's life-changing. For me, it was life-changing. So that's what I hope my athletes get out of being part of this family. It takes time. You have to have a lot of trust. And it's also, I think, before C26, it was the first time I truly handed myself over to a coach to just totally be at his disposal, here, shape me, mold me however you want. I don't think I did that in the past. I always kept this boundary up. With C26, there's no boundaries anymore.
Man, I love that because, we started the podcast and we believed in that, and we hear that a lot, that type of thing. And I feel like, we have, podium athletes, we have beginners, everyone across the board. And I think that's really true. I mean, it's sort of this supportive community that really isn't out to judge, and they just want, it's very comfortable, man, and I met you at camps in the past. So you go into these things and then you almost see it immediately that there's something that people have, that they're all kind of looking for the same thing. And for whatever reason, it's kind of that connection. And that might be just a vague connection, but we're all kind of looking to find stuff like you were just talking about. And obviously you are an introspective, supportive, compassionate coach.
Yeah, I think so. Related to what you were saying, I share something. I told Robbie this. We went to St. George. There was quite a few of us that went to St. George, another unofficial team race. But my husband and my son went with me, and it was the first time that they've been able to meet some of the people from the team. They had never met anybody. And one night, after we had all had dinner together, my husband said to me, I get it. And I'm like, what? And he goes, I get it now. And I go, what do you get? He goes, I get why you love this team. I get why you love these people. These are good people. These are people who love other people. They're not about themselves. It is very, very obvious. And he goes, and I can see why you would be drawn to them. I understood it, but I didn't really understand it till now. And that's the exact same feeling that I had the very first time I went to camp. I'm like, I get it. I totally get it. And I was a fish out of water. I am not an extrovert. I'm a very shy person. I'm not good with lots of people. And so that was a big step out of my comfort zone to come to run camp, but I did it. And here I am 5 years later. My whole life's just different.
Yeah, it's so great to hear that, and I loved how you explained it. And obviously you've come through that, and it's led you into being a coach now. And you're taking on athletes, and talked about your philosophy and everything like that. So what are some of the most rewarding parts of being a coach to you? I mean, what you said you just had the Texas experience. I'm sure that had to be something.
Yeah, that was amazing. I think another part of it is the aha moments when you have an athlete who's been doing something and there's something they need a little bit of work on it, and you try to explain it 10 different ways, and then
Yeah.
you find the way that makes the difference for them, and they're like, oh my gosh, that makes total sense now. And you see it click. That's really cool. Um, I also honestly, I have an athlete that I like it when they share things with me. So I feel like my job is to share things with them, to make them knowledgeable, to make them be a lifetime learner of the sport, so that when they do go into these races and or events or training, they have all the knowledge that they can, right? They have everything, all the resources right there, and they just need to pick the right one for the moment. But I had this athlete who it sounds really silly, but he sent me a link to a Netflix documentary that I had not watched, and he said, this reminded me of you. You know, this guy is really special, and I want you to see this because this is how I see you. And that really meant a lot, when they start reciprocating or mirroring um, that that relationship, then it becomes a partnership. There's just not a one-way track there. It's going both ways. And I like that. Um, we were going through some family things during Texas, and my athletes reached out to me every day and asked me how we were doing and if we were needed anything. And so when they start reciprocating that care, it really means a lot. That and the aha moments, I think those are my favorite.
Mhm. Yeah, well, I think it's real easy to forget that most people get into this sport with a bigger purpose, and they're using triathlon as the vehicle.
Totally. Hmm.
And I love what you're saying because it always, it's always a driving force to think about going faster and being awesome and being on the podium or whatever. But then those, for me, like that aha moment is exactly what you said, is just using it. It's just, feeling good, being around people that are positive, and it's really a sort of a good supplement to your life. And
Yes.
and
Yes.
it sounds like that is probably the most important piece to you as far as a connective piece in the athlete world.
It totally is. That's the difference. So when I talk about C26, I'm not talking just about triathlon. I'm not talking about triathlon as a sport. That's part of C26. When I talk about C26, I'm talking about a community of people that are kind of all on the same brainwave, whether that's a crazy brainwave or not, because we like to do crazy things. It's people that get you. And I said that at camp one time. I was sitting at a table and I'm like, you know what's so amazing? This is the first time in my life I've sat at a table with people who get what I'm talking about. You
Mm.
know, the stories that you tell or the mishaps that you have, or, taking a digger on a rock, in the river, and having a fat lip. Those are people that get it. And that's what C26 is. It's not just triathlon, it's not just running, it's an experience, it's a community, and that's you can share all of those things. So you have lots of aha moments, right? Not just about sport.
Exactly. Yeah. And that obviously that is super rewarding to me to hear that kind of thing because, everyone gets into triathlon and wherever you're at, there's probably a local group of triathletes. And then, but you
Oh
don't,
yeah.
you're excited about it usually in the beginning, or at least this is what I found is eventually you're like, I'm not really, clicking with a lot of these people or whatever. And then it seems like that type of person ends up coming to C26. And it's almost like there's a hidden uh I don't know, hidden similarity or something that comes out. And I think that's just really cool. I mean, because I'm all about tri groups and everything, and I think people should all do it, but C26 is kind of both.
Right. Well, I mean, I live outside Boulder, the mecca of triathlon. There are tons of triathlon groups here. Um, so many that, anybody that was new might be really intimidated to join and to want to do it. It would be really easy to be on any of those teams. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with those teams, but yes, I did not find what I was searching for from myself or from the sport until I found C26. And then it changed for me. The sport, it became very much more a lifestyle. It wasn't just, it is a hobby, but it's also a lifestyle. And the relationships that I formed as a result of it are some of the best relationships that I've had. And like I said, most of those are, I met you guys, over the podcast. That's how I knew you for 6 months before I got to meet you. And you just feel like you know who Mike and Robbie are, right?
No.
you just feel like that. And I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. And so it's cool when people meet me now and they go, oh yeah, you're Nicki Leo and you did this and you did this and you did this. And I'm like, yeah, that's me, So it's, I like that. It kind of scares me too, because it opens you up to be judged, as a coach. But I just play with the idea that if I'm doing the best that I can, there's no reason why someone shouldn't succeed underneath me. Because that's the goal. That's the goal, whether it's to succeed at the sport or life. Under me, I hope that I'm able to shape them in some way, shape, or form, like you and Robbie have shaped all of us.
That's good stuff. I think we could probably wrap it up. And you got anything else you want to say to potential athletes, or how you like to work with athletes or anything like that?
No, what I will say is we have a line of really great coaches, great people who are all very, very different. And there is one of us out there for every single one of you. There are. We're a great team. We're a great family. And you don't have to see it to believe it. We live it. So check one of us out, check all of us out, because that's why we're here.
All right. Well, as always, it's great to talk to you. And when will I see you next?
I will see you at Tri Camp, I believe, in June.
Nashville?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With all those wonderful hills.
All the hills, and bringing a lot of coaches in, I think it sounds like. And
yes. Early morning swims, not my thing.
Yeah.
But I'll be there.
I'll be watching you from the deck.
There you go.
We'll see. All right.
All
well,
right.
It was great talking to you, and I'm going to stop the recording here, but
okay.
We can hang on for a sec.
Cool.